Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my third Java video tutorial. And in this video, I'm going to be talking over the development cycle, the programming structure, and the main method. So, when you're developing software, there are 4 steps that are really important. And the first is to plan. And I can't stress this enough. Nobody, and I mean nobody, writes a very good application by just typing away. It's very, very difficult to do things like that. So the very first thing you want to do before you even start writing code or anything like that is just grab a piece of paper, okay, grab a notebook and a pen or pencil, and just start writing down ideas. Just, close your eyes and think of what you want your application to do, what you want your application to be, what do you want it to look like, how you want it to function, and just write your ideas down on a piece of paper. Draw small squares to represent the screen and just draw your ideas. Put your ideas on paper. That is the very first thing that you should be doing, is putting your ideas down on paper. Now, once you have that done, step 2 will be coding. Once you have everything organized on paper and everything, what you want to do is you want to start coding and structuring things so that they can be implemented appropriately. So you could create the right amount of classes and just write clean, efficient code. Take your time. I suggest taking your time when writing things. Don't just code away. Make sure to add plenty of comments so that if someone else does work on your project, they know what you were thinking of at the moment, right? Step number 3 would be test. Once you have your beta, and by beta I mean your first kind of like your demo application. Go ahead and test it, use it out, maybe have a couple friends test it or use it, and they'll let you know what's wrong with it, if anything's broken or not. And just go ahead and take notes. What is broken? What needs fixing? What needs improvement? What needs change? And just go ahead and take notes of that. And that brings me to step 4. Step 4 is it's pretty much just fixing all those bugs. It's fixing all that, all those things you found during step 3. And again, once you fix that, then you go back to testing, and then you jot down all the new bugs and so on. And it's just kind of like a loop. So again, those 4 steps are planning, second step is coding, third step is testing, and fourth step is fixing. Okay, and that is the development life cycle. Now, the second thing I wanted to go over is the programming structure. And I noticed that a lot of people have trouble understanding this, and I don't blame them, because unless they start coding right away, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I'll go ahead and try my best to explain it. So in programming, especially in Java, you have what's called classes, okay? And these classes, okay, think of this blue box as a class. And you can technically have many different classes, but let's just go ahead and pretend we'll just have one class. Okay, so we have this one class, and our file represents our class. So we have this class, and inside of this class we can have, again, 3 things, just like I mentioned in my other video. We can have attributes, okay, attributes, actually, instead of a box, I'll go ahead and just write them as lines, because these attributes are just going to be pieces of information that we're going to be putting on there, like the name. You know, if this class was the blueprint for a car, then attribute number 1 would be the name, attribute number 2 would be the color, attribute number 3 would be the brand, or something like that. Now, the second thing would be the behavior, right? The behavior. And you'll probably hear the words method and function used interchangeably. And technically the difference between function and method is that functions are located outside of classes and methods are located inside of classes. So I'll just go ahead and use the term method in this case. So again, we have a class, and inside of this class we have attributes, we have behavior, okay? And again, just how we have 3 different attributes on here, we can have 2, 3 methods, okay? All these methods are the behavior. All these variables, okay, these are called global variables, by the way. These are the attributes. So we have our global variables, and we have our methods. Okay. All right. The whole constructor stuff, I'll leave that for later. I'll just go ahead and stick with this. See if I can move this around. Go ahead and move this. All right, so again, this is a blueprint. Now, let's say this was the blueprint on creating a building, a specific building. Let's say the Sears Tower here in Chicago. Okay, so this would say the attributes. How many windows? It contains, I don't know, 1,000 windows. Attribute number 2, it's black. The building is black or gray. And attribute number 3 is, it is, I don't know, 1,000 feet tall or something. All right, and then the behavior, building doesn't really have that much behavior, but let's say has lights, turns on the lights. The second behavior, the second method, is turn on the air conditioner. And then the third thing might be something like, I don't know, turn on radio signal from the antenna up on top. So this whole thing is a blueprint on how to create a Sears Tower building. So if someone were to look at this, they say, oh, okay, I know how to create the Sears Tower building. I'll go ahead and just look at the plans and I'll create one. So they look at the plans, bam, based off of this, they created one tower. Then another architect comes and they look at it and they say, oh, you know what? I can create the same thing. And they create one that is identical to it. Then comes another architect and they can create another one, and so on. And you can create as many different Sears Tower buildings as you want. Okay, so hopefully that clears things up a little bit. And then finally, the last thing I want to go over is just the main method. The main method is one of these methods, okay? Now, when we're talking about behavior and stuff, every application, every Java application needs a main method, because everything that's inside the main method is what's going to be executed. Okay, that's where it starts. It sees, the computer sees all this code and it's like, man, that is way too much code. I don't even know where to get started. So that's where it knows where to get started. Is it looks for the main method, and the first line of code that's on there is the one that it'll start executing. Then it'll move on to the next one, and so on until it reaches that end curly brace, and that's it. It only executes whatever's inside the main method. If it's not inside the main method, it won't be executed. All right, so yeah, thanks for watching my video. Hopefully this cleared things up a little bit. In my next video, I'm going to be going over the different types and variables. So again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. All right, thanks.